To start out this look, I used a little bit of washi tape, which is not very sticky, and I first applied it to the back of my hand to take off any of the excess adhesive, and then I placed it under my eye, lining my lower lash line up to the end of my brows. That will just help create a sharp line. And then I'm using the Essence I Heart Stage Eye Base to prime using a BH large concealer brush. For eyeshadow, I'm using the Morphe 35W palette, and I'm first taking that first cream shade and I'm using that same BH brush just to set down that base so that it's not too sticky for the other colors that we put in our crease. First, I'm going in with a color that's pretty much the same as my skin tone, and I'm using that as a transition color. This will help the rest of the crease shades blend easier. Here I'm going in with a gray toned brown eyeshadow, and I'm putting that straight through my crease from outer corner to inner corner using a Luxie tapered blending brush. This is just going to start the defining process of the crease. So since fall is all about the warm colors, I'm taking this burnt orange shade on an Avon crease brush, and I'm putting that right over that grayish brown color that we just put down. And I'm taking the Luxie brush again, and I'm just using that to blend out the edges so that there's no harsh lines. So to deepen up the crease, I'm using the shade here on another Avon crease brush, and I'm just putting that more so on the outer corner and dragging it in a little bit as there's less product on the brush. So for the eyelid, I'm using this J-Cat Beauty Blinkle eyeshadow in the color Tangerine Light. It's a really pretty orange with gold reflex. So I'm taking an e.l.f. Essential eyeshadow brush and I'm just packing that all over the lid. I'm not really using swiping motions until I get closer to my crease. This will just help ensure that you're getting the most pigmentation out of the color, and I'm only putting that on the outer 3/4. I'm leaving the inner quarter of my eyelid completely bare for another color. So to darken up that outer corner, I'm taking this plum color in the Morphe palette on another Avon crease brush, and I'm just applying that to the outer corner in a V shape, super close to the tape, and blending it a little bit with the outer portion of that orange color that we put on the lid. And then I'm going in with this really pretty gold color, and I'm taking a lip brush and I am applying that to the inner third of my lid, and then I'm taking that e.l.f. brush again and just blending the edges all together. So for eyeliner, I'm using the NYX Matte Liquid Liner, and I'm using that tape still as a guideline just to create a little bit more of a dramatic wing. Here I'm just removing that tape. Make sure that when you remove the tape that you use your other hand and hold your skin taut before removing it, otherwise you can damage your skin. And then I'm going in with mascara, and I'm using my Younique lash curlers just to curl my lashes, and then I'm using the Maybelline Lash Sensational mascara on my top lashes only. For lashes, I'm using the Ardell Demi-Wispies, and I'm using the Duo Brush On Lash Adhesive in the color Dark, and I'm using my Younique Tweezers just to apply those. Today I used two primers. I used the Wet n Wild CoverAll primer, and I use that all over my face, and then I'm using the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer primer in Smoothing, and I'm applying that just to my T-zone. This will help reduce the appearance of pores, and it will also smooth out any texture issues that you have. So as you see, I'm rubbing it between my two middle fingers, and then I'm applying that just to the sides of my nose, in between my eyebrows, on my nose, and on my chin where I have the biggest pores. For foundation, I'm mixing the Too Faced Born This Way foundation and the Maybelline Better Skin foundation, and I'm mixing those together on a little palette that I have in front of me, and then I'm using a Mirabella classic foundation brush to apply those, and then I'm using the e.l.f. complexion brush to blend it out, and then I'm using a beauty blender just to make sure that there's no brush strokes and make sure that everything sinks into my skin. For concealer, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Porcelain, and I'm just applying those to my normal conceal and highlight spots, which is under the eyes, down the bridge of the nose, the cupid's bow, the chin, and in between the brows on the forehead. Next I'm using the Coty Airspun powder, and I'm not baking with this, I'm just using my beauty blender to apply a little bit of the powder, and then I'm blending it out using that beauty blender, and then I'm going back through immediately and dusting away any excess powder. Next I'm going in with the NYX Hydra Touch Foundation Powder, and I'm applying that using a BH 124 brush. Then I'm going in with the NYX Contour Kit, and I'm using the second shade here, and I'm using a BH 125 Tulip brush, and I'm applying that under my eyes and everywhere that I put the concealer, just to help brighten that area just a little bit. For bronzer, I'm using the Tarte Amazonian Clay Bronzer in the shade Park Avenue Princess, and I'm just using a generic powder brush. I don't even know the brand of it. And I'm applying that to all of my bronzing spots, anywhere the sun would hit. So the cheeks, the nose, the forehead, the temples, a little bit around my lips and under my jawline, just to help create that shadow. Next I'm going back in with that NYX Contour Kit, and I'm using the third shade on the bottom row along with an e.l.f. contour brush just to contour my cheeks. This is going to help slim them as well as just give more definition to your face. Then I'm going in with that powder brush again and just blending everything out. For blush, I'm using the Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in the shade Apricot in the middle, and I'm using a Mirabella blush brush just to apply that to the apples of my cheeks and then blending it back into that bronzer. Then for brows, I'm using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the color Chocolate. I'm first underlining my brows to define them, and then I'm going in and filling in any of the sparse areas. I'm using a very light hand to make sure not to make them look too dramatic or boxy. Here I'm just tightlining using the Urban Decay 24/7 Velvet Pencil. I'm just running that in my upper waterline to make sure that there's no gaps between my lashes. For my lower lash line, I'm using the NYX Très Jolie gel pencil in brown. I'm running that in my waterline and then a little bit under my lashes just to give it more of a defined look. And then I'm using a Younique pencil brush along with these two shades that I used in my crease just to blend out that gel pencil and give it more of a smoky look. Next, I'm going to set my brows using a clear brow gel. This one is the Brow Gal by Tanya Crooks, and I'm just brushing that through my brow. For lower lashes, I'm using the Extended Play Giga Black Lash Mascara by MAC. For my highlight, I decided to mix two colors. I first used this NYX contour kit. I used the peachy shade, and I decided it wasn't dramatic enough for me, so I went in with the Gerard Cosmetics Star Powder in the shade Audrey, which is a beautiful gold with a hint of champagne in it, and I applied that everywhere as well. I also use those two colors on my inner corners of my eyes and a little bit under my brow bone. For lips, I mixed a couple of lip liners together. I used the Clean Color Waterproof Lip Liner in the shade Coffee. This lip liner I got off of shopmissate.com for only $1, and it is amazing. It's super creamy and super pigmented. And on top of that, just to warm it up, I went over it with the NYX lip liner in the shade Orange, and it basically just warmed up that coffee color a little bit, and then I went over it with a Bucks Up lip gloss. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and please subscribe.